Welcome to the Man Cave. We left the arcade again, and now we're going to talk about the latest arcade one-up leaks, which includes Tron, Killer Instinct, and the Marvel vs. Capcom head-to-head. Are they real? Do you want them? Take a moment to like, subscribe, comment, share, put your notifications on. Stay right here. And remember, if you're not retro gaming, what are you doing? Welcome back to the great indoors. So today we're going to be looking at some leaks that happened over the last couple of days and a confirmation that just came in. We'll get to that in just a moment. But newcomers II Arcade recently announced their Double Dragon cabinet as well as their Mutant League football cabinet. And these cabinets are pretty premium. They come at a good cost, but they have a 19-inch monitor. They've got a 100-watt speaker system, and they got Sandwall hardware in there as well. So they look pretty awesome. I'd love to get my hands on one of those one day to have a peek at it. So they had the floor for a little bit, and then all of a sudden there was this indigo leak that came out of nowhere, and of course it was there and gone, so you had to capture it. Luckily I did. So what we're talking about is the Killer Instinct cab. That was leaked on Indigo, as well as the Canadian MSRP. We'll talk about that in a minute. As well as the Marvel vs. Capcom head-to-head, or cocktail cabinet as we call it, the MSRP on that as well as the Tron cabinet a lot of us are looking forward to. That was confirmed as well through the Indigo leak with the MSRP. Get to that in a moment as well. And a Terminator 2 cabinet that appeared on Twitter. Ooh, boy, that one came out of nowhere. And as well as an MSRP on that. We'll get to that in a moment. And just moments ago, it was confirmed, absolutely 100% stamped approval. The Simpsons cabinet is coming. It's going to be up for pre-order on the Arcade 1UP website. Just saw it there. So let's go and have a look at all the latest stuff here on Moxie's Man Cave, and we'll see you in a second. All right, let's jump right into the Killer Instinct, because that one's already on the A1UP website. So leak, whatever, it's there. So I'm certain that's coming, right? So if you're a fan of this game, then I'm absolutely ecstatic and happy for you. It comes with Killer Instinct, Killer Instinct 2, Battletoads Arcade, and there's some hidden games on the PCB, and probably more that'll get put on by Barry Sneaky. You hear me, Barry? All right. So anyway, I have no idea what they're going to be. But the price, man, $849 Canadian for this Killer Instinct cab. Does come with a light-up marquee, stool and riser, and that's great. But what if I don't want a light-up marquee? None of my cabs have light-up marquees. I have no stools. I'd never go near one of those stools, and I do like the risers. But they should be just vanilla, and then we'll add what we want. Keep those prices down, please. All right, next up, Marvel vs. Capcom head-to-head. Or as you know, we normally call them cocktail cabinets, but okay, fine, head-to-head, that works. So, features 8 games: Marvel Superheroes, Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, X-Men Children of the Atom, Punisher, X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, and Marvel Superheroes War of the Gems. Those last 2 games being Super Nintendo titles, I believe I remember that. But with an MSRP of $749 Canadian, this is not going to be cheap. But it does look swanky. It looks pretty cool. Plus, and here's something, we don't usually talk about, and A1UP is actually making these head-to-head, these cocktail cabinets 29 inches tall. Their first few, the black Pac-Man table and Street Fighter and whatever, those were just a little over 25 inches tall. And then you needed some weird little riser to make it, workable. But these are now 29 inches tall, which is basically the size of a cocktail cabinet. So you put a stool there and you're good to go. So that is absolutely awesome. And you may love this. It's got a lot of the same games that you're going to be playing anyway that you could get on the stand-up version. But this is, head-to-head. Awesome. All right, and something none of you saw coming, but you wanted it. Now, I'm not talking about Tron, but Terminator T2. I mean, that could be very, very cool. Not much is known about this one, but it definitely looks great. But my only concern are the guns, they're placed right up at the screen. Now, if you remember, it's not a light gun game. These, the guns actually act like mice. They're not light guns, as the gun just kind of moves the reticle and then you shoot. In the arcade, the screen was much further away from the guns. So it might seem weird being right up at the screen like that. So, but hey, I mean, if you're a T2 fan, chances are high that you are. You're probably going to want this one. No idea what other games are coming with it. It does say game selection on screen, so your guess is as good as mine. But I guarantee you're going to pay handsomely for it. I don't know the price of it. But, you know, if you're going to toss in a riser and a stool and maybe a lit marquee, if that's the deal, and those guns, you know, and then the license to license Arnie, you know, you're going to either be, you know, buying this cab or sitting beside Bezos on his next flight. So priorities. My main man, Tron. I am terrifically excited about this cabinet, and I have been since I had the thought that maybe one day I could actually own my very own Tron cabinet. And now it's a reality. Or at least it was, until I saw the MSRP of $769 Canadian. I just can't spend that kind of money. So I bought a U Centipede donor cab and the GRS Tron stick and the USB buttonhole spinner, and will build my own Frankentron cab. But if you can afford this, I mean, this beauty comes with a stool, it comes with a lit marquee, lit Tron stick, all the way lit, lit control deck and a riser. I mean, this thing looks incredible. I mean, really, really awesome. I mean, check out the inset of that monitor and the graphics on there. If it comes like that, I mean, that thing is amazing. But, and there is a but, in case you didn't notice, this is a Tron cab with a horizontal screen, which is great for discs of Tron, which is the second game, but Tron is a vertical game. If I'm playing Tron, I don't want it to be squashed and squished, hence my Centipede cab, which is a vertical cab, which doesn't look anything like the shape of a Tron cab, obviously. But if I'm being totally honest, this, to me, is the holy grail of cabs. Finally, we have the 4-player Simpsons cab that a lot of you guys have been waiting for. It features 2 games. The other one we're assuming is still Simpsons Bowling. We haven't heard otherwise. That has not been confirmed yet. And it will come with a variety. I guess there's a few different packs depending on the retailers. I see that, of course, it's probably going to come with a stool, a custom riser, of course. It's got the molded coin door as the legacy cabs had. It's got a lit marquee, which is nice as long as it's not too washed out. It's got online multiplayer Wi-Fi. Includes a tin wall sign. That's kind of nice. And yeah, so the usual 17-inch LCD screen, you know, the 4:3 aspect ratio, of course, that you've come to expect from Arcade 1-Up as well. This thing clocks in about 104 pounds, so it's pretty heavy. So remember, you got the stool and the riser and everything else on it, and that bloody tin sign that weighs, 60 pounds itself. So I'm sure that's not true. So there you go. We got all these things. You can get your pre-orders in probably starting any time with Arcade 1-Up. You can go there and be notified when it's going on sale, or at least when you can pre-order it, pardon me, but more than likely that's going to be fall. Just before you head out, here is your arcade moment of zen, located on the Stockholm subway. That is attention to detail that I can get behind. So please remember to like, sub, comment, share, turn your notifications on. And remember, if you're not retro gaming, what are you doing?